Hello, friends, and welcome to my home. It is good that you have come. Today, I am making slow cooker barbecue pulled pork. This is how this recipe came about. I was in the market, minding my own business, and I walked around the corner and there was a sign for pork butts, 99 cents a pound. Now, this cut of meat is usually around $4 a pound. And so it's a lesson that sometimes you don't pick the meal picks you. And that's what happened in this case. Now, the pork butt is actually not a butt at all. It is a shoulder. Still has the blade in it, lots of marbling, has a beautiful fat cap. Leave it, don't trim it because it's going to melt down into the meat. This cut is really amazing on a pit barbecue. Low and slow for a very long time, but this recipe allows us to get that pulled pork barbecue flavor in a slow cooker indoors, and it's delicious. Now, I've tried this recipe before on low, put it in before I go to work, come back 10, 11 hours later, and I find that it has just turned to mush. Doesn't have much texture at all. So I tested the recipe a few times, and this is what I found to be best for this. 5 or 6 hours on high, it maintains the texture. And it creates a beautiful reserved liquid that we strain and then use some of it later to add to the crock pot and cook a little bit longer. I have removed the pork butt from the crock pot. You take out the blade. That's my favorite part, removing that blade, because it just slides out and lets you know that it is ready. And then pull the pork, put it back in the crock pot with some of that reserved liquid, and then your favorite barbecue sauce, heat through, and serve it. It's really a delicious summer dish. In the wintertime also, you can make it without having to go outside. And I hope you enjoy. Please feel free to subscribe to the channel, and the recipe is below. Thank you very much. Let's go to the kitchen. Enjoy. I start the crock pot barbecue pulled pork with a bone-in butt roast with the fat side. Now I already have a cup of barbecue sauce, a tablespoon of prepared yellow mustard, and a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce to my to my bowl, and to that I'm going to add a half cup of apple cider vinegar. I'm going to add a half a cup of chicken broth, a quarter cup of light brown sugar, a tablespoon of chili powder. I'm adding a teaspoon and a half of dried thyme and additional onion powder, because I didn't have a large onion. I'm adding my about 3 or 4 cloves of garlic. Get that all mixed together. And I'm also going to add my onions. That is a large onion just chopped up. And then I'm going to cover. And then I am going to just cover. And let it get all on the sides. Five to 6 hours in the crock pot, and we will shred it. After 6 hours on high in the crock pot, here we have our pulled pork, and I will take it out and shred it, then put it back in with some this reduced sauce and shred it. Okay, the pork roast is out, And you can see that this blade just comes right out. There we go. Perfect. Now I have placed the pork on a cutting board, and I can just go through with a fork here and just pull the meat apart. It is fork tender. And then we'll add some more sauce to it and be ready to serve. And this is what I do with the sauce. I take the sauce out of the crock pot and I just put it in a skimmer to take off that layer of oil off the top. And I'm going to add some more barbecue sauce to it and then pour over the pulled pork. All right, now we have our pulled pork back in the crock pot after I have pulled it with the fork, and I've added about half a cup to 3/4 of a cup of barbecue sauce. And then I go back to my original sauce that came from the crock pot that I have strained. And then I'll mix this in the crock pot and let it simmer in the crock pot on high for about another hour. And there's our barbecue pulled pork cooked in a slow cooker. It smells delicious. Friends, here we have it. A slow cooker barbecue pulled pork served with chips and coleslaw and a nice tall glass of lemonade. No knife, no fork, because this is all going on one sandwich. The recipe is below. Please feel free to subscribe. Thanks, friends, for coming by.